Have you ever had that feeling, as if your body is living its own life and the energy that used to flow freely is somehow draining away? Perhaps you've noticed slight dizziness when standing up, ringing in your ears, or just unexplained fatigue by midday. Often, behind these sensations lies a quiet but persistent visitor: high blood pressure. With age, our blood vessels, unfortunately, lose their former elasticity, becoming a bit stiffer, like an old rubber band that doesn't stretch as well, and the heart has to work harder to push the blood through. But you know what's most frustrating? Often, without realizing it, we add fuel to this fire. That seemingly harmless packet of salty crackers, eaten absent-mindedly, actually acts like sandpaper on our blood vessels. Or skipping a dose of medication prescribed by your doctor. It's like removing the key from a lock holding back a powerful force. But don't despair just yet. I promise you, there are simple, accessible steps anyone can take to regain control over their blood pressure, feel a surge of energy, and improve sleep and mood. No complicated diets or grueling workouts. Stay with me until the end, because we'll discuss several common traps that prevent us from living life to the fullest after 60, and understanding one of them could truly be life-saving for you. Let's take care of your precious health together. Here, for example, is one such trap we often fall into: excess salt. And it's not just about the salt shaker on the table. Much more insidious is the salt hidden in processed foods: bread, canned goods, sauces, sausages, cheeses. It's like a spy, infiltrating our diet unnoticed. So, what can be done? Become a real detective in your own kitchen. Carefully read labels and try to choose products with minimal sodium content. Even better, cook for yourself from fresh, whole ingredients, because then you know exactly what's going onto your plate. Let me tell you about Arthur. He's 72 years old. Arthur loved instant soups from packets and frozen dinners. Quick, convenient, and the taste was familiar, nice and salty. He always brushed it off. What's a little salt? We've eaten like this our whole lives. But the numbers on the blood pressure monitor stubbornly climbed. Shortness of breath appeared even during short walks, and his ankles would swell by evening. He felt disappointed and powerless. The thought of bland food seemed dull and joyless. He was afraid that life would lose its taste, literally. You understand, right? It's not just food, it's a habit, a part of life. But persuaded by his daughter, Arthur began to experiment. Reluctantly at first, he replaced his favorite packet soup with homemade, generously adding herbs and spices instead of salt. He started buying unsalted nuts instead of chips. He began baking chicken or fish with lemon and garlic instead of buying ready-made ham. It wasn't an overnight transformation. Initially, he really missed the familiar salty taste. It felt somewhat empty. But gradually, Arthur noticed. The swelling decreased. Breathing became easier during walks. At the doctor's appointment, the monitor showed lower numbers than usual. Arthur suddenly realized that taste isn't just salt. It's the aroma of herbs, the zing of pepper, the tartness of lemon, the sweetness of vegetables. Physiologically, it's simple. Less salt means less fluid retention in the body, which reduces blood volume and pressure on the vessel walls. Imagine slightly deflating an overinflated tire. The load immediately decreases. And psychologically, Arthur felt not deprivation, but control over his body and his well-being. He was back in charge. What could be the benefit for you? You too might notice reduced swelling, more stable energy throughout the day, and your heart no longer having to work overtime. Start paying attention to hidden salt in foods. Your blood vessels will surely thank you. But, while paying so much attention to salt, we often overlook its important partner, potassium. Yes, they work as a pair. Potassium helps remove excess sodium from the body and relaxes blood vessel walls. It's like a wise diplomat balancing the situation. Yet many of us, especially in later years, don't get enough potassium from our diet. We simply don't think about it. So, what's the solution? Consciously add potassium-rich foods to your diet. It's not difficult. Remember Margaret, she's 75 years old. She always considered herself relatively healthy, but her blood pressure fluctuated, jumped around, and she was often bothered by muscle cramps at night and general lethargy. She had heard about the benefits of potassium, but didn't give it much importance. She wasn't fond of bananas, and spinach seemed tasteless. She was used to her usual diet: sandwiches, pasta, sometimes a cutlet. It seemed too late and too difficult to change habits at her age. There was a sense of apathy, and she thought, "It's probably just old age. What can you do?" Does that feeling sound familiar? Her granddaughter, having read about the link between potassium and blood pressure, gently encouraged Margaret to make changes. Together, they found tasty recipes featuring potassium. Margaret started adding beans to soups, eating baked potatoes in their skins, where so much potassium resides, and grew fond of dried apricots and avocados. She was surprised how delicious these foods could be. After a couple of months, Margaret noticed the night cramps had stopped. She felt more energetic during the day, and her blood pressure readings became more stable. Physiologically, potassium helped her kidneys more effectively eliminate sodium in water, and it also promoted the relaxation of vessel walls, which lowered her pressure. Imagine scales, salt on one side, potassium on the other. To achieve balance, you need to add weight to the potassium side. Psychologically, Margaret felt a surge of energy and pride for having made positive changes in her life without resorting to new medications. And the benefit for you? Exactly the same: more energy, less swelling and cramping, more stable blood pressure, and support for heart health. Make friends with potassium. Add bananas, dried apricots, baked potatoes, beans, and spinach to your diet. These are simple steps towards better well-being. But if we're talking about things that require our most careful, most serious attention, it's undoubtedly our attitude towards medications prescribed by a doctor. And here, please be especially attentive, because neglecting this is, without exaggeration, playing with fire. Skipping doses, arbitrarily changing the dosage. "I feel fine today, I'll skip it." Stopping treatment without consulting the doctor. It's like trying to defuse a bomb without instructions. The consequences can be irreversible. So, what should be done to avoid this dangerous mistake? The answer is simple and categorical. Strictly follow your doctor's prescriptions. Take medications regularly, at the same time each day, and be sure to discuss any side effects or concerns with your doctor. Don't stay silent if something bothers you. Listen to the story of Evelyn, 68 years old. Evelyn, to put it mildly, disliked her blood pressure pills. Sometimes they made her slightly dizzy, and frankly, she often forgot to take her daily dose. "I feel fine, really," she'd reason to herself. "Maybe I don't need it today." Sometimes she would split a pill in half to save money or reduce side effects, telling no one. She felt hostage to these pills. It irritated and depressed her. There was a feeling of losing control over her own life. One day, after skipping her medication for 2 days in a row, she felt sudden severe dizziness and weakness, so bad she had to call for an ambulance. In the hospital, her blood pressure was critically high. This incident was a real wake-up call for her, sobering and frightening. The doctor prescribed a different medication that she tolerated better and helped her set up a reminder system, a pill organizer, a phone alarm. Evelyn promised herself to be disciplined, and it worked. Her blood pressure stabilized. Physiologically, the medication, taken regularly, kept her pressure within safe limits, preventing dangerous spikes that could lead to a stroke or heart attack. It worked like a reliable regulator in a complex system. And psychologically, the fear of a sudden crisis was replaced by a feeling of security and calm. Evelyn realized the pills weren't a prison, but a lifeline. What benefit can this realization bring you? Prevention of life-threatening conditions, strokes, heart attacks, protection for your brain, heart, kidneys, and most importantly, peace of mind. Your blood pressure medication is not an option. It's a vital necessity. Treat taking it with the utmost seriousness. It really can save your life. Please discuss any questions with your doctor. Of course, it's not just diet and medication that affect our condition. How we spend our days is also important. And here lies another common mistake. We start sitting too much. We catch ourselves thinking, "Where would I go at my age? I don't have the strength. I'm afraid of falling." And gradually, we fall into the trap of a sedentary lifestyle, becoming prisoners of the comfortable armchair. Yet movement is life, especially for our blood vessels. It helps them stay elastic and improves circulation. So, what can you do if moving has become more difficult? Find an activity that you are capable of and enjoy. No need for Olympic records. Regularity is key, even with the simplest movements. Let's remember David. He's 70 years old. David had always been active, but after retiring and a couple of minor injuries, he became wary of movement. He felt stiffness in his joints and feared losing his balance. He spent most of the day in an armchair watching TV or reading. He said he was taking it easy, but in reality, he felt his former lightness slipping away. His mood was often low, and his sleep was shallow. It seemed to him that an active life was far in the past. His physical therapist advised starting small. David was skeptical about the idea of chair exercises, but decided to try. Simple arm swings, leg lifts, ankle rotations. Then he added short walks around the apartment, then around the block, starting with 5 to 10 minutes. Gradually, he noticed the joint stiffness lessened. His mood improved, and he started sleeping more soundly. After a few months, he was happily walking in the park for half an hour a day. Physiologically, regular moderate exercise improved his blood flow, helped his vessels maintain tone, and even slightly lowered his blood pressure. It's like oiling rusty hinges. The door starts opening more easily and without creaking. And psychologically, David felt younger, more energetic, and more confident. He rediscovered the joy of movement. The benefit for you? Improved circulation, joint flexibility, a boost of energy, better mood, sound sleep, and of course, help in controlling blood pressure. Move. Find your activity, whether it's walking, gentle exercises, swimming, or even dancing to your favorite music from your youth. Your body will surely thank you. Movement invigorates not only the body but also the spirit, and our mental state is directly linked to blood pressure. Here we come to another silent saboteur of our health, chronic stress. We often underestimate its impact. Worries about children and grandchildren, health concerns, financial anxieties, troubling news, all this accumulates and keeps our nervous system in constant tension, like a tightly wound string. This, in turn, causes blood vessels to constrict, and pressure relentlessly rises. So, what can we do against this invisible enemy? Learn to manage stress, find relaxation methods that work specifically for you, that bring you peace. Susan, 65 years old, was a classic example of someone living in constant anxiety. She worried about everything constantly. A phone call from her children, her heart would skip a beat. An upcoming doctor's visit, a sleepless night. During family gatherings, her blood pressure always spiked. She felt exhausted, perpetually tired, and irritable. She understood it was harmful, but didn't know how to break free from this cycle of worry. She felt that anxiety was just part of her nature. That's just who she was. On a friend's advice, Susan decided to try simple breathing exercises. Just 5 minutes a day. Slow inhale through the nose. Hold. Slow exhale through the mouth. At first, it was hard to concentrate. Thoughts scattered like unruly children. But she persisted. She also remembered she once loved caring for houseplants and took it up again, repotting, watering, talking to them. This activity calmed her. Gradually, she noticed she reacted more calmly to daily troubles. Her sleep improved. Her blood pressure readings became more stable, even during visits from noisy relatives. Physiologically, deep breathing and engaging in a beloved hobby helped activate the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for relaxation. It's like turning off a constantly ringing alarm in the house. Silence and peace immediately follow. Her blood vessels stopped spasming with every anxious thought, and psychologically, Susan felt immense relief and control over her emotions. The benefit for you? A calmer emotional state, reduced frequency of blood pressure spikes, improved sleep, and overall well-being. Find your island of calm, whether it's breathing, a hobby, connecting with nature, prayer, or meditation. Stress management isn't a luxury. It's a vital part of caring for your heart and vessels. Knowing how to relax is wonderful, but there are also more fundamental basic things we sometimes forget, like air or water. Yes, plain, clean water. With age, the sensation of thirst often dulls. We feel like we don't want to drink, and we drink much less than our body needs. But water is life. When water is insufficient, blood becomes thicker, making it harder for the heart to pump, increasing the load on vessels, and impairing the kidney's ability to remove salts and toxins. So, we create problems for ourselves. What to do? Very simple. Drink enough clean water throughout the day without waiting to feel thirsty. Make it a healthy habit. Robert, 78 years old, drank almost no water. A cup of tea in the morning, some juice, compote at lunch, more tea in the evening. He genuinely believed this was enough. He often felt tired for no reason, complained of constipation, and a kind of fogginess in his head. He attributed it all to age, like many of us. It never occurred to him that the reason could be a simple lack of water. He thought, why make extra trips to the bathroom? It's just extra hassle. His doctor persistently recommended increasing his intake of plain water specifically. Robert was skeptical, but decided to try. He started small, placed a nice glass in a visible spot, and tried to refill it every couple of hours. At first, he had to force himself, then it became a habit. After some time, he noted with surprise that his morning fatigue was gone, his head felt clearer, and his digestive problems disappeared. And his blood pressure, by the way, also became slightly lower and more stable. Physiologically, sufficient water helps maintain normal blood viscosity, easing the heart's work and improving kidney function. Imagine a river. When water is low, the flow slows down, creating blockages. But when the river is full, everything flows easily and freely. Psychologically, Robert felt more energetic and healthier, realizing how a simple glass of water could change his well-being. And what's the benefit for you? More energy, mental clarity, normalized digestion, kidney support, and help in controlling blood pressure. Drink water. Keep a water bottle near you and take a few sips every hour. Your body needs this simple yet vital elixir. So, we drink water, move, eat right, try not to worry, take our medications. But how do we know if it's helping? How do we track our condition? Here we arrive at today's final, but no less important point, our attitude towards blood pressure measurements. Some of us avoid measuring pressure at home out of fear of seeing bad numbers. Others, conversely, trust only the numbers obtained in the doctor's office. Yet, many people's pressure spikes specifically in the doctor's presence, the well-known white coat syndrome. Conversely, sometimes pressure is high at home, but perfect at the appointment. Both extremes prevent getting a true picture. So, what's the best approach? Regularly measure your blood pressure at home, in a calm environment, keep a log of the readings, and be sure to show it to your doctor at appointments. Helen, 71 years old, experienced exactly white coat syndrome. Every visit to the doctor was stressful for her, and the monitor invariably showed high numbers. At home, she was afraid to measure her pressure. What if it was bad there too? She was scared to know the truth. As a result, her doctor relied on the elevated readings and prescribed quite strong medications, which sometimes made Helen feel weak and dizzy at home. She was confused and didn't know what to do. It felt like she was trapped in a vicious cycle. Her doctor advised Helen to buy a good home blood pressure monitor and measure her pressure twice a day, in the morning after waking up and in the evening before bed, recording the results. For the first few days, Helen did this anxiously, her heart pounding. But then she saw that her home readings were significantly lower than the doctor's office ones. She brought her log to her next appointment. Seeing the real picture of her usual blood pressure, the doctor was able to adjust her treatment, choosing a milder therapy. Physiologically, home monitoring provided an accurate representation of her condition without the influence of the stress factor. It's like regularly checking your car's tire pressure yourself rather than relying solely on the check once a year during inspection. Psychologically, Helen felt more confident and calmer. She became an active participant in managing her health, not just a passive subject of measurements. The benefit for you? Getting a real picture of your blood pressure, the ability to work with your doctor to find the optimal treatment, reduced anxiety, and greater control over the situation. Don't fear the numbers. Regular home measurements are your reliable ally in the fight for healthy blood pressure. Keep a log and discuss it with your doctor. These are the kinds of moments related to our lifestyle and attitude towards health that can subtly but significantly affect our blood pressure after 60. Please, don't blame yourself if you recognized yourself in some of these stories or habits. You have lived a long, rich life, accumulating invaluable experience and wisdom. Your health in these golden years isn't about heroic feats or strict restrictions. It's about paying attention to yourself, about gentle care, about small but regular steps towards feeling good. You have every right to feel energetic, think clearly, and enjoy each day without fear or discomfort. Remember that even small changes in habits made with self-love can bring enormous benefits. You don't need to change everything at once. Choose what seems simplest and most accessible to you right now. Take that first small step today. You are strong, you are wise, and you are capable of this. Believe in yourself and be well.